started using roll-on and perfume in primary 4.
Oh yeah, what's your humble background?
Well, first of all, I was born in 1967. I know a lot of people don't get to see now. About 2 months before the commencement of the civil. Yeah. I started primary school around 1972. I didn't do primary 6. By 1978, I had to go to secondary school. Went to school. Yeah, I spent 5 years. But coincidentally, when we were writing about WAEC, a lot of us, nobody did their WAEC. You know, it was, we were the first set, and the teachers of those days, I don't know whether it is only we, but you will discover that those who wrote WAEC between 1977, between 1983, 82, 83, down to 90s. Some people wrote almost 4 or 5 times before they got their papers. So after that 83, in 1984, I have to re-enroll in college F1, where I made my papers, and by 1986, I found myself in the University of Benin. I graduated, I read sociology and anthropology. I graduated in 1990 with a second class upper. Then by 1993, I found myself in success.
Okay, so with all these years in interverse, what was those challenges you you experienced during your upbringing?
Like I say, I think as a child, I became conscious of myself maybe when I was already in, let's say, primary 4. Because I remember, meanwhile, my father and my mother, they are, can I say stark illiterate? Let me say they are not literate, they are not educated, and so for them, they don't play it. So, father was a little bit white to do. I didn't have any problem with finance. I remember that when I was in primary school, if ever drops me in class, himself and my mother will wait for me 12:30.
When you feel
Yes. But around when I was in primary 4, it's like my father thought that I was over pampered, and being a trader, he decided that I need to go through some ethics, and he said I must hawk
wow.
in the market. So it became a struggle between himself and my mother. We are taking this side, the side will not be strong. Meanwhile, I grew up in Warri. I know the Warri background. I wouldn't see any serious challenges growing up. I can't remember any as in terms of. I think the only challenges like I told you, is not being able to make my papers first time when I wrote in 1983. But I can say I came down to the whatever that was invoked around that time, because a lot of the time there was too much playfulness. So you will go to most schools, about out of maybe 40, 50 who enrolled, you discover that somewhere about 8 to 10 that will make their paper. So people keep on re-enrolling. But when I went to the college, I think our principal then was Mr. Siakpere. So he actually talked to us. Like now we are coming out in 1985. Most of us made our papers. So when I got to the university, I knew as I then I have become aware of myself, so I knew what I wanted. So I got my admission later late, 2 days to go to completion. When some people have already spent about 2 months, that And immediately after the matriculation, on 20th of December, last week of January, we started exams.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
You,
I have not received up to 6 lectures. I have to copy my notebooks and whatever. So after the first semester, my first semester was a little bit bloody, but there was no failure, no carryover, and I told myself, if I was able to pass through this without that means there's trouble for them. Second semester at the final year, I probably see it. You go to investor, you ask them, sociology department, 1990. I'm a trailblazer. Look, I know what brought me now, so I read and came out. I narrowly missed first class. I came out with second class upper very high.
wow.
It was something I actually went for, something I like, and that passion has always been anything I do. I want to be the best.
So how were you able to manage friends in school at that time? Because you know, in schools, there are some persons that are carried away with their friends.
Yes.
At the end of the day, what they order for versus what they receive is no longer the same.
Yes.
So now you went to school with the mindset of coming back with a good result of which you actually achieved. So how were you able to manage friends? Because good and bad friends, they all came around you.
I think I did that while I was in secondary school, like I told you, because of my experience. Part of my problem were those bad friends. That's why I came out having just barely 2 credits. So by the time I was going to university, I knew that, for instance, first of all, I was never in the hostel.
Okay.
I live off campus, so true. And because I know myself, if you want us to play, I'll play. But once it is that time to read, and not through university, apart from maybe final year once in a while, I never went to class to read in my own off campus. And my friends, they notice when it is time for play. Though I still do not have too much friends then, because I recall that when I was entering the university, I didn't have any friend that was an undergraduate. In my street, I was first. Yes, so I didn't have much. The only 2 friends I actually have were my friends. We were choristers together in St. Tabit's Cathedral. Incidentally, the 3 of us wrote JAMB. I was the only one who got admission that year.
Wow.
So each time I want to flex, I'll wait. Maybe I spend about 2-3 weeks in school. I'll come back one weekend. And once I come back to school, I don't have much friends apart from few of them who are in the same department with me. And they know they call me Wako because I read and play.
Okay.
But I don't. So I was able to differentiate between what I came for in school. Friendship.
Okay. You said you're born and brought up in Warri. And what can you say about Warri? Yes. Because some persons have this negative mindset about Warri. Now you're born and brought up in Warri, and you came out outstanding.
Proudly worried tomorrow.
Good. So tell us, what can you say about it?
Well, I will recall sometime when I was in university, some of my friends, those ones from Lagos, University of Benin, Lagos, and even Benin. When you mention Warri, they run away. Especially in the junction, they just see us as. But like I told them, just like the way some of them grew up in Ojota, all those places in Lagos that were notorious, you could say Warri was notorious. But let me tell you, while we are in University of Benin, every one of us who came from Warri, we are trailblazers. Do not know. So, though, you know, during that time there was Shell, a lot of the oil company was there, and there. So, in any place where there's economic activities, where it is booming, you will still see some of the ugly side. And I know that sometimes people, even now, they'll say, Warri is not a place for a child to grow up. Well, for those of us who were there, we grew up in Warri. And you know that when, as a child, both the good and the bad and the ugly are around you, and you're able to come at who you are, successful, it means that there are some characters in you, there are some inbuilt character that God have given to you to be able to discern good from evil. So while good, evil, ugly is taking place, you should be able to pick out what you need. Like I told you, I said, in my street, to the best of my knowledge, I was the first that I know. And after that one, okay. So I don't see it as if it is Warri itself per se. But the 1 year I spent in Urobo College, as stubborn as Urobo College was, there were a lot of stubborn persons. Yet, right here in the service, a lot of us who came out from Urobo College are here. Some of them in House of Assembly. So it means that if they say a place is bad or whatever, I think it is the way you look at it. Yes, the way you look at it.
In one word, how can you describe Warri? Is Warri for the lazy people or for the strong?
It's for the strong. If you are lazy, you cannot survive in Warri.
So how is it for the strong people? How is it for the strong people?
For the strong people, like I told you, first of all, where is the good, the bad, the ugly? You need a strong character. First of all, to be able to discern, but you need to stay on the path of good. And where you have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 negative friends, you need to be strong to accept yourself. Then back then there was what we call Jaguda and the rest. So
don't worry.
Yeah, so you need, those of us who grew up in the Kumagba area, Ameta, you need to be strong. At times you have different rings of friends. Like man, you will not pass through this place. So if you are not strong, you cannot go through those ones. It's something that just unfortunate. I don't know what I would call it fortunate that when I started giving birth, it's just only about 2-3 years my children spent in Warri. All of them grew up here. Then we always go back. My parents, until my father died, when they were my mom, more than half of my younger ones are still there. So from time to time, we still go to Warri. And it's, each time I tell them that I want to go to Warri,
the excitement.
So I think it's for the strong, because you always see the negative is around. And once you are able to accept yourself, it was accepting myself that removed me from part of the negative things when I went to invest in. When I come back, and I know a lot of us there. Some of our friends in Benin, when they graduated, they left Benin to join us in Warri. Yes, and today they are there. A lot of them are successful. Yes, so lawyers, a lot of them are. Some of them are in the service.
Wow.
So I know some people say, no, Warri is not a good place to raise your child. No, depends on you. Though my mother was very harsh, so with the strong hands, I was able to conquer whatever that would have brought me down.
Okay. So what is the major role your mother played in your life?
My father was a quiet type. You're very strict, quiet. Then my mom not allow you be. And even if my father was alive, he knows now. I give it to two of them, but I know that sincerely I am who I am today because of my mother. At 83, when I could not make it, at times it could, when you have some friends. You could just be moving around. My mother was always telling me, look at your friends, so if you follow these ones, gosh, my mother can go the length of using police to threaten you if you don't want to behave well. And if not for her strong will, strong, you would not have gone on to go well. I probably would not have even gone to the university. So I give that to her, and up to today, even my younger ones will tell me, as I am now, if my mother is here, if my mother is annoyed, I run away. I will still be thinking that he may probably flaw, you understand? So, my mother is about 82, 83 now, it's still strong and still molding. Some of my kids went on holiday sometimes back. By the second year, come and go, they say no. Say mama is too strict. So she did a lot of it. My father was quiet and very disciplinarian, but still quiet side. Then my mother,
No nonsense, so
harsh, and you just have to be what she wants you to be. House cleaning, washing clothes, waking up early, going to church. Those are what she only picked me. And this time, if person like me, if I sing Sweet Mother, even my friends will tell you, if you visit me, the moment my mother is coming, you run away. Except, of course, probably I finish all she wants me to do. If there are some still remaining, including you, you will join me to finish the job. So, she was actually my character.
wow. In case you are just joining us, it is HBS show, History Behind Success. And my guest on this program is the Permanent Secretary for Civil Service Commission, Frederick Bureau. You can also subscribe and like our YouTube page, HBS Show. Yes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the HBS show with lessons, the springs or dance. History behind success of your role model. It's the HBS show with lessons, the springs or dance. History behind success of your role model.
Good to know that you're still there. Welcome back. You're still on the program, HBS Show Lesson, History Behind Success. Before the break, our guest on the program, Frederick Bureau, said that the mother sold a very vital part in his life by character building. What he is today is by the help of what the mother imparted in him. Now, by the grace of God, you are now the permanent secretary, of which is the last cadre in the civil service. Tell us, how did you start in the civil service, rising to this level?
Well, I earlier said that I was employed into the civil service. I think that's November 1993 as an administrative officer. I grew through the ranks, level 8, 9, 10, 12, up to level 17 before I was appointed permanent secretary in December, in November 2022. And for all those times until I was made a permanent secretary, I have worked in 16 ministries.
16 ministries.
Yes. So I started as an administrative officer, posted to Ministry of Agri. Later, I was deployed to the Delta State Agricultural Development Program (ADP). I was there until I think 2001 when I was posted to the Ministry of Water Resources when it was being created. From there, I moved to the Ministry of Women Affairs. There, I think for about 9 months when they dissolved the cabinet, I headed the State Commission for Women. From there, I moved to the Ministry of Education. For the first time, I was made a functioning permanent secretary in the Ministry of Transport. That was in 2007. 2007 too, I moved to Ministry of Energy. Same year. I think around January 2008, I was posted to Ministry of Youth Development. That same year, I moved to State Sports Commission. That same year, I moved to Board of Internal Revenue, where I spent close to, I think I was in Board of Internal Revenue from 2008 to 2015. Right, so I came back, posted back, and was posted to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. From 2015 to 2017 as Director of Admin. From there, I moved to the Civil Service Commission, Director of Planning, Research and Statistics. And because there was no permanent secretary, I functioned there, permanent secretary. I remained there till 2021, around October, where I was moved to Directorate of Project Monitoring. 8 months later, I was brought back in September 2022 to Civil Service Commission review. From there, I was made permanent secretary. So I spent close to about 7 years in Civil Service Commission.
So does it mean that before one will become a permanent secretary, you must go run some ministries first? Is it part of the requirements?
Well, by cadre, I'm an administrator. You know, as an administrative officer, you can move from ministry to ministry, unlike some other regional cadre that cannot leave their MDs. As an administrative officer, you move, and actually movement gives you a lot of experience. For the ministry that I have moved around so far, I was made the permanent secretary there. I don't, especially even remaining in Civil Service Commission, I've gathered and gathered all the experiences that is required for me. If I go to any ministry or in an event, see the number of people coming to say hi because of
Interaction.
and the movement. I think maybe that's part of the reason. 2, contributed to my appointment, because if you look at my CV, you see all the movements. Like I told you, from level 8, I climbed all the way to 17.
Yes.
Skip for me, it's a good experience.
So how did you feel the day your name was announced as the permanent
I was
secretary?
actually very thrilled. You know that for any civil servant, your hope is to
Is
be
there?
made permanent. So that evening when it was my friends that actually had the announcement. I was in church and I began to receive call. So when they told me in church, I I don't all I just did was just to lie down on the altar and say, God, thank you. Because it's not everyone who came to the service with me. Secretaries to some of them are dead. Some of them are level 17, still there. Some of them are over senior to me.
Yes.
But
Grace found you.
grace, opportunity. All I give it to God because some of a lot of people will tell you you need to have a godfather, you need to be able to take God. For me, the only godfather I have is God. And when you trust in God, God will place men
Yes.
who will
Okay.
help you to achieve that which you give all the glory to God. And His Excellency, the former governor, Jennifer Yokowa, the ward,
All right. It's your wife.
Okay. Met my wife sometimes in 1991. There's a way God arranges things. When I graduated, I've attended about 2 different times. No job yet. My father was selling in the main market for me. I joined him. I was going there to help him. So while I was there, a young man saw the way I was attending. He asked my father, "Is this your son or the one that graduated?" I said, "Yes." So he introduced me to somebody. That's the way that person brought me to Asaba, got me forms, and I applied. Coincidentally, meeting that man, I met some of his children, and one of them happened to be my wife.
Wow.
So we were just platonic friends for up and upward of close to 5, 6 years until the relationship started to grow.
Wow. You agree with me that our youth of these days, some of our youth just want to get things done faster. That impatience is always fighting with them. They are
Yeah.
strongly with it. What's your take on
Of recent now they say the education is a scam.
that?
That's their
Their slogan.
But even while I was growing up, I remember that in my streets, one of them too, they refuse to go to school. They want it the fast way. And some of our parents are not helping matters too. Far back then too, you see that, is it not your mate that have done this? You are here, you understand? But for me, sincerely, for those who know me, they know that I don't know whether it is my belief in God, but like I told you, by my upbringing, back by my mother, my father is a hard-working person. He was a trader. Far back 1969, I was already built, I think, about 2 different buildings. So you will discover that I grew up with a father and mother who believe that there is dignity in living. So I have never, for one, thought about making money. When we joined the service in 1993, at least I have close to 5, 6 friends who were working in Shell. They see us as a nobody because of what they were paying them there. Some of them were in Global, some of them were in Chevron. When we go out, during I say, keep your money, don't worry, let us entertain you. Your money will not take you anywhere. But in 2003, the thing changed. When Ivory was the governor, a lot of things changed. A lot of them left the area companies to take to the civil service. And they came. By then, we already far gone, so a lot of them
Yeah.
became marginal. So for me, like I always tell my kids, I will not stop you from having one or two friends because they are part of what mold you. Meet them. This one will be saying this one will be saying this. But my role in your life will determine a lot of things. I will tell you that in spite of all that you have seen, you need to be focused. You choose what you want to do. Be focused because if mistakenly you want quick wealth, in those days when we were reading Shares, hardly shares, we have one of them. Come easy, go easy. That's the way it is. If your wealth come easy, it comes. So for me, you just need to know that there's dignity. When they say labor is not suffering. When we are in the service, well, even though it's not all of us who became permanent secretary, a lot of them got to level 70. You understand? And even while we are in the service too, there's a lot of us fell the wayside. They could not manage it. Initially, it was a little bit difficult. That's a level 8, level 9. You are struggling to have enough to to have a roof over your head, rent, whatever. The moment you got married, 1 or 2 kids begin to struggle for how to pay their school fees. You know, but all the same, I see the civil service as a good training school for anyone who wants to succeed. They may not all be par on the same pedestal. But if you think about me, I don't know what I would have done if I had not gone into the civil service. So my take is that to wealth, you work and you wait for God's time to be best. It comes.
Okay. Just before we go, you are the permanent secretary for Delta State Civil Service Commission. You agree with me that His Excellency the Governor of Delta State, the Sheriff Ukurowori, has been doing a whole lot in the state. So tell us, what has he done so far in the service?
Well, you recall that during his campaign, he came to meet us in the secretariat. So he's asking for votes so that when he comes in, he wants us to see so far. I was telling somebody yesterday, first of all, he has the interest of civil servant attacks. And he has shown us that we keep on to his agenda. When he came in, the former governor was already making attempts to ensure that all those who are being owed areas, he cleared them. That was something that if you give it to some other person, they will tell you, okay, let it be. That was in billions. And since then, he has taken our welfare. So that's why we have made permanent secretaries. It was under him now. Yes.
Wow.
You will see that even when told us he has no problem, he's waiting for the federal government to answer that he should be paid, and that's what the government. We went just for a meeting, even without background. So he gave the approval that the union should be implemented. And it was implemented. Come to train service community last year. We're trying to do another one. If you go to most of the ministries, he releases funds. Somebody serve the head of service. But in some of them, through some empowerment programs, even civil servants have been trained. So far, I've not seen anywhere where we said this is what we want. And they have not complied. I see him as somebody who actually knew that for a government to succeed, the wheel of progress is oiled in the civil servants. They have shown us that they have no interest at heart. And he's going to do more because his capacity, he told us, capacity building is part of it. So every step of the way, he always emphasizes it. He's looking for ways to bridge the gap in the skills of civil and public servants. Spending a lot doing that too. It's something that is top.
That's good. All right, before we go, as an old worry, we want you to like crack a joke with us in worry language.
Why did they carry last of it? Well, I know I've left worry for a long time, and if you leave worry too long, even just 1 week, you feel me? So some of the languages you may not even understand them again, so I don't even know they want to crack now. Sincerely, because about 2 weeks ago, I went for Jebel, and I was just seeing them. I just discovered that some of the terms they were using, I could not even understand. I said, which one can be that one now? I say you don't go as Savannah, you don't become an old man, you're not able to come back again. So when the latest news now, no. So sincerely, if you tell me to crack a joke in worrying, I don't even know the one to crack because I'm behind. If my younger was that are then, if they come here now, you'll be shocked. Speaking the pidgin English now, I'm no longer fluent again because I have actually left them. They're all the same. I still think that maybe after retirement, I'll be retiring in 2027. I'll still go back to work.
Okay. So just tell us something. Just speak the pidgin. We won't hear it.
You won't hear the pidgin? Okay. Well, like I tell you, the carry last. As I did so, anytime, any day, I'll be worry picking. You see the program that is being organized by, what's the name? Clinic, worry again. I need a mission for anything because when you reach there, you go see some of the time you go see your classmate. Clinic was my classmate now in Mo Primary School. You will see all the different languages you could boss out. So me, I would still like to meet up again because I don't slack well at the worry language. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time on this program. All right, we've come to the end of the program. No doubt that you had a swell time on today's episode, and our guest has been the Permanent Secretary of Delta State Civil Service Commission, Frederick Bureau. He said that labor does not mean suffering. You must be determined, you must be focused, and also learn to stay with people that are going the same way with you. Stay focused. Throw away those ones that are not in the same boat with you. It will help you to succeed in life. I am blessing upon you. Do it again next week.
It's the HBS show with lessons.